Hello everyone, this is Century Countess, and what you're looking at is the gold mine of the Fashion Palace. You're looking into the trunk of the Countess's wardrobe, and as you can see, it's in disarray. It's going to need to be, how can I say it, exhumed, for lack of a better word. Everything needs to be refolded, recatalogued. However, today is not about recataloging and rearranging our trunks. Today is a costume review, a costume overview, how it was then and how it is now. So without further ado, let's continue on with this episode, shall we? So a couple of years back, I think maybe one or two, I did this replica of a costume worn by Bette Davis in the film The Private Lives of Elizabeth and Essex. And hold on, let me get my scanner so you can see another picture. There we go. As you can see, I didn't have enough fabric, so it's a little bit short, but it's not too noticeable unless the wind's blowing, and it was pretty breezy in this moment right here. Here's another one. Well, actually, I take it back. You can still see my feet and a little bit of my ankles. Yes, it was short. But it actually worked because the area where we took these photos was a little bit muddy, but it had that kind of period feel to it, a little bit of a period feel. But yeah, it was a fun experience. Let me see. Here we go. This is a more familiar picture. Yeah. Everything is replicated. The only thing I couldn't get done in time was the ruff cuffs as well as the double ruff, because in the film she wore two ruffs, a parted ruff and a neck ruff in this replicated gown. And I think, yep, here's the picture right here. This is the picture of the actual gown itself. It's actually a floral brocade pink instead of a solid candy pink, but I couldn't find anything close to that fabric. And I just love the combination of this beautiful kind of magenta, purpley velvet and the silk satiny pink tones. And it was bordered with pearls, lots and lots of pearls. Now, as I said, there was a time limit before the photo shoot, and I was on a budget, so I didn't have time to embroider pearls everywhere. I mean, it's all over her sleeve, her bodice, and a little bit of her dress, like the parted part of her dress. It was a beautiful garment. It was my favorite garment, one of my favorite dresses in the film. So, as I said, we're going to be doing a review of the dress itself, and we're going to actually show you the condition of the dress right now. So be prepared. It has been loved. It's been loved a lot, and as I said, it's gone through a crazy epidemic. So I need to like I said, I need to put some order in my trunk, but before that, I wanted to show you the dress. I still have the dress, and I wanted to show you its condition and what I'm going to have to do to restore it. So let's see the dress. So here she is in all of her glory. This is the actual costume from the photo shoot, the replica of the Bette Davis costume that she wore in Elizabeth and Essex as Queen Elizabeth. It doesn't have her full accessories because we're going to be talking about the dress itself. But the only built-in accessory is the bodice pearl piece right there. And when you put all the beading, all the necklaces and other pieces on, it actually looks like it's a whole bunch of necklaces together, when in actuality it's just a few pieces that looks like a whole bunch of pieces. So let's get a closer look at her. So as you can see, there is some fraying. And then trim like this, it frays very easily, and once it's in this state, you either have to figure out how to repair it or replace it. And I'll go into details about when I was making this dress. When it was getting close to the deadline, I started rushing, and then there was like these unexpected surprises. So this was an incident that happened. I ended up getting snared when I was doing poses by the tree. There was a snare. I don't know if it was the bark of the tree or what, but something caught me, and then whew, that's what happened. And I just made it worse by doing that. But yeah, this is actually all strips of both the velvet and the satin that were cut into little strips. First they were cut out into this shape, and then they were all cut into little patches all together, and then they were just stitched. That way it was like a puzzle piece. All the pieces matched, except they were just different materials. The same thing went with the sleeves. I just traced a sleeve pattern out, and I just cut it into puzzle pieces, for lack of a better word. And another disaster was I couldn't find a zipper that matched the color, so I had to use this sheer cape. I had to sew the sheer cape to it, which was not in the film, and I didn't want to do that, but the zipper was so revealing, and this is why. A white zipper, and I couldn't find a pink zipper. And also, we had a wardrobe malfunction, so I was glad that the cape was there, otherwise people would have seen this. And yes, I did get stopped to get my photo taken with people. It was during Comic-Con time, and the zipper was a little bit longer than I had thought. Even though it was the inches that I needed, it was much longer. And so this happened. The zipper was extended, plus I was on my last pair of sewing scissors, and they were about to wear out while I was waiting for my new scissors. And when the deadline is like a day away, and the last thing you got to do is the zipper, you got to improvise, because it was going to be a long time before I could actually get the zipper. In fact, the zipper that I saw that was close to this color was online. And the sad part was, it wouldn't be here until 1 or 2 months after, because the one that I could find, the closest one that I could find, was in Asia. And even though it was around the time the coronavirus was not even in existence, it wouldn't have been here within a day. So I had to go from Joann's, everywhere. I mean, I went to Joann's, the regular craft stores, sewing stores that were in our location. I went to Hobby Lobby. I went to every craft store that I could think of that I knew of, and none of them had the actual right shade, the actual right brand of zipper. I mean, there was all these colors that were the color, but they were not the zipper for apparel. I mean, there was one for a tent, there was one for a coat, and the zipper formation was ugly, and I wanted a silk zipper, so I finally caved, and I got this cotton zipper. I regret it, I hate it, I still hate it, and when I start repairing this gown in the future, I am definitely going to figure out something for this zipper. I will not figure out something for this zipper. I am going to remove this as best as I can, and not only repair what little bit damage of fraying it has done, I'm going to find a better, decent zipper, and then figure out how to correct this crooked look. So yeah, I am showing you the worst, basically, rush job ever. This is probably the first rush job I have ever done, and Yeah, I know I'm probably going to get a lot of comments like saying, yeah, yeah, but it's like, I'm just bearing all. I mean, this is history. I mean, this is history. This is my sewing journal that I'm sharing with you. So, yeah. I mean, every journal, they have their secrets and it's always uncensored. I mean, you can't go to a Photoshop and then make everything look nice, and then people are going to be suspicious because if you're talking like the yays and the nays of your outfit, they're going to like wonder, what do you mean by the nays? And then you'd be like, oh, I digitally covered everything. And what's the point in filming something with yays and nays when you know you've digitally covered everything? If it's possible to digitally cover costuming malfunctions. So yeah, here's a stripe, the stripes, little cuff, and then let's go back to the front of the dress. So it's not wearing a petticoat, but it flows out a lot. And then here's a little bit more of the thing. And yes, the petticoat is stitched to the upper part of the dress. And then there was something I wanted to show you. I don't know if I can find it. And I apologize for the floor. It is old floor that I hope they replace because they've been saying that they're going to replace my floor. Oh, I can't find it and I'm kind of glad, but I wanted to let you know while I was working on the skirt, I accidentally cut it at a wrong angle, so I actually made like this slanted skirt, Elizabethan skirt, which would have been kind of cool, but we were going for historical. We were not going for historical with modern additions to it. But there was a wardrobe malfunction that I had done unexpectedly by accident, and I had to repair that slash. And I had just watched A Stitch in Time, and it had the tutor tailor in it, and she was talking about how if the pattern didn't fit all the way, you just cut the strip on another piece of fabric and then just stitch it on. And after you iron it and everything, it won't be noticeable unless you're actually looking for it. And it disappears. And so I re-sewed the piece back on, and then to kind of hide it more, I added more of this white, I call it birthday cake icing because it kind of looks like birthday cake icing, especially this color of dress. Um, it hides it pretty good, and I can't find it, but I know it's on this side. I know the patch is on this side, and I'm kind of proud that I can't find it. So I actually did a good job on hiding that. So yeah. Now here's the wig for that specific costume. The hairpiece that you see is permanently stitched in, and the ringlets are always taken care of. There's always pins in them when I'm not wearing them, and then there's pins in them when I am wearing them because you don't want a pin curl to come out. It's been worn a few times for other costumes, like maybe one or two after the photo shoot. Hold on, But it too is based on one of the hairdos from the movie. And I'm hoping it does not fall off the styrofoam head. But here's a little bit at the back. Well, not the back, the top, my bad. You can actually see a little bit of the latex skin. I intentionally did that to kind of give the illusion that it's my real hair. And I'll end this video with a bonus footage. This is another dress that was inspired from a gown that Bette Davis wore. And you girls and guys and gals and lords and ladies might know where it's from. Can you guess? That's right. All About Eve, the party dress. There was something attractive about this dress. I think because of the fur trim and the fact that it was the first evening gown that had pockets. Now, this dress was my first dress that actually had pockets. So you're looking at a dress when I first did pockets. And I will say this, I love the pockets. However, I screwed up on where to place the pockets. So if I ever go back to this fail project, I'll have to see if I can salvage this and maybe use what I can from this dress to make it look more actual to the film. Now the fur that you're seeing, I went to a Value Village and they were selling what I thought was false fur. And it was actually real fur from a garment that was torn up, that was never finished, or it was just, it gone to hell. I think it was a stole of some sort, a stole or a wrap, and somebody didn't really take good care of it, and it just went to hell. So, as I'm doing research on the fabric, well, not the fabric, the dress itself, looking at what type of fabric it was, what fur it was used, I was thinking about using fake fur, but I had no idea that I'd actually use actual real fur. And not only that, this is real fur. That was the most cheapest fur I ever got from a Value Village store. I mean, Value Village, I mean, even when they have the real fur, it's going to be like 40 something, at least in my area of Value Village, area location of Value Village. But this was only like under $10. So I used it and I made cuffs for the dress out of this salvaged treasure because I thought this is so iconic. This is a sign to make this dress. And I was able to find a matching zipper for this one. It was perfect. It actually looked like it was made for the dress. Now, I'm going to talk about the pleating. This is actually imitation pleating. This is actually pleating that's forcibly stitched down because for some reason the iron, because when I ironed it in a sensitive level 4 silky satiny fabric, it was not staying in place. And this is before I saw this one costumer's tutorial video. She had done it like, I guess, a month or two after I had completed this pleating and this dress. And I wish I had seen that video. I wish that video had been up earlier so I could have seen it and I would have been able to stitch the pleats properly. And as you can see, it's starting to kind of loosen up here. Now, the original plan for this dress was it wasn't supposed to be off the shoulder. And I cannot think of the designer right now, and people are going to kill me for not knowing the designer. Ignore that little signal. That's just somebody trying to text me at the wrong time. She made this dress in one night, and then she, Bette Davis was slipping it on, and then there was something wrong with the sleeves. And Bette Davis had to get on scene, like, right then. So the dressmaker was going to run to the director and let them know that there was going to be a delay. But then Bette Davis stopped her and said, "Look here." And she pulled the dress off. She had pulled the dress off the shoulder. And if I remember right, she wiggled one of her shoulders. It's like, this is much more better, don't you think? And that's how the dress turned from a square neck to an off the shoulder. And in the end of the production, the dress was given to Bette Davis as a gift. That or a replica was made. I can't remember, but I do know that she did get this dress after the film to wear for her regular cocktail parties. And the dress did have a belt, and this replica did have a belt for it, but it disappeared. And plus, I didn't like the buckle. The buckle was okay, but it just wasn't enough. And I couldn't find any sparkly cufflinks because it did have some rhinestone cufflinks here. And then there was a flower brooch somewhere around here or here in the movie. And yes, I am putting my hand through the pockets. And I made the pockets really, really deep so I could put everything in there. But like I said, I had made the pockets a little too close to the front. At first, I thought they were at the front, according to some of the pit photos. But then when I watched the movie, I realized they were more towards the side. And that upset me. The moment I saw that, it was like epic fail. When I already knew that this outfit replica was already failing. So, yeah, I have not worn this outfit at all. I don't think I will wear this outfit to a public scene, such as a performance show or a photo shoot, until I can get it properly prepared. Also, the pattern that I used was too small for me, so I was like resizing it. It was a Mrs. pattern, but I'm a little bit more queenly. And plus, having a different torso shape, I had to also alter the length of the torso shape as well as the width. And this dress was as close to the actual dress as possible. I mean, I tried looking for patterns for this gown, but I could not. I mean, no matter what. And if anyone knows where I can find this pattern for the All About Eve birthday party scene that Bette Davis wore that made her an iconic. I mean, it's like I said, it's an iconic dress, and I love that, and I would love to have something replicated of hers. I mean, I already do with my Elizabethan costume, but I wanted something more out of period, like more into a vintage. So, if anyone knows where I can find the pattern for this dress in a cheap range, I mean, nothing that's like $60. I'm sure there's not a pattern out there unless it's antique. That's like $60. But if anyone knows where I can find this pattern for a decent price, let me know. And I will do a tutorial on how to make this dress from scratch. So yeah, that's about the end of the video. I hope you like this overview of the Bette Davis Queen Elizabeth dress, and then this bonus All About Eve birthday party dress. So, this is Century Countess. Have a good day and stay safe during this corona epidemic, and we will see you in the next video.